Stanio Clanio, what is going on? Happy Sunday evening. Welcome into Team Stanio Live, where we are talking all things real estate and life and living in Cincinnati, the greater Cincinnati area. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful week. My family is just back from the great state of Tennessee, where we had our annual trek down to Gatlinburg. Maybe we'll share a little bit about that in dad life, but super proud for my kids right now because we all hiked and summited Mount LeConte, including my 5-year-old, who was an absolute champ on the trip. So I've got some photos of that. Maybe we'll show you, but there's a lot going on in Cincinnati. So what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about, hey, this new Brent Spence bridge that's coming. We've got new photos that are out. The Bengals and Paycor Stadium and the county reached a deal. We've got to talk about that, of course. We're going to talk a little bit about, let's see, what else? The convention center, the hotel. We got some new drawings and some plans on that. We've got some news on the Hyde Park Square development. Very interesting things are going on there with the residents of Hyde Park, the Save Hyde Park Square group that's trying to get this thing, at least modified or edited so that, we'll talk about that. So that's going on. A little bit on the new construction side we will hit up, and yeah, maybe we'll talk about the airport as well a little bit. So a lot of things going on in Cincinnati, but would love to hear from you. Jump into the chat. Let us know, how's your summer going? Have you traveled anywhere yet? Are you planning to travel? Are you getting some pool time? Did you survive the heat wave? I actually think it was a little cooler down in Tennessee, which was weird than what it was up here. So the Stanio family is having quite the adventure this summer. We are still trying to wrap up our home edition, so we're not back in our home yet. We've got some temporary dwellings. We are on I think we're going on week 8 right now of being out of our house. So things have been a little bit up in the air, but wasn't able to get in here last week. We had the family vacation. It was nice to get away from the project a little bit, eat some pancakes, see some bears, swim in some pools, climb some mountains. It was all good, but we are going to jump in with some news here because there is a lot going on. So let me bring this up. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Big news. If you are living in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky, this new bridge it's going to change your daily drive and the skyline of Cincinnati. So did you guys get to see this photo yet? Ohio and Kentucky just revealed the final design for the long-awaited Brent Spence Companion Bridge. It's a modern cable-stayed structure with 2 levels. The northbound traffic on top is heading into downtown, so you're going to be able to see those great Cincinnati skyline views as you're heading from Kentucky into Cincinnati. And the southbound underneath of the bridge is heading into Covington, Kentucky. This $3.6 billion project spans 8 miles and includes highway widening on both sides of the river. Construction starts this year with major work kicking off in 2026. The bridge is designed not just to reduce traffic on the aging Brent Spence, but to become an iconic part of our Cincinnati skyline. They say it's a cost-effective, safer, and meant to showcase the Cincinnati view like never before. So what do you guys think about this? Question for you. Do you like the design? Do you not like the design? Is it going to help your commute? Do you think it's a little too late? Very interested. Leave a comment down below. Let me know in the chat here. What do you guys think about this design and these big changes that are coming to our region here? So let's take a look. Let's see if I can get the other photos here as well. Yeah, let's pull this up here. What do you guys think of this? I think it's pretty cool, to be honest. I kind of like it. It's going to be a little tough because it's going to be right next to the other Brent Spence bridge still. But I'm digging it. I think it's pretty cool. I like the idea of the cable bridge where you can kind of see through it and see through to the Cincinnati skyline. I like that. I think it looks good, for what it is. I think, watching the governor of Ohio, what I saw him say was part of this, and this design was like, we want it to look great, and we also want it to be done relatively quickly. So we don't want construction forever on this. Now, the construction is going to go for quite some time. There's the bridge component of it, and then there's the traffic side and the highway changes on both the Ohio and the Kentucky side of it. But I think it looks pretty cool. I like the night vision or the night view of it. I think it looks pretty sweet, all lit up. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, Alex? What's going on? Hey, Eric, can't wait until after the construction downtown is done. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be here for a long time, a long, long time. So we're going to be waiting on the construction to be done for a while. That's for sure. Like, get ready for it. That's kind of why I'm saying, gear up. It's going to be something else to deal with for quite a while here. Alfie Solomons don't like it. Yeah, I mean, hey. It is what it is, though, right? That's kind of what it is. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. Everyone, you're entitled to your opinion. But there's the design, that's what it's looking like. I spent a couple nights recently looking at YouTube videos. I'm like, how do they put footers in a river again? Like, how do they do that? I just think the idea of building a bridge with footers and these casements in the water is pretty cool. So I'm excited to just kind of see that go up. I think the bridge itself, in terms of the construction, that'll be done relatively soon. It's really more about the highway changes on each side and diverting the traffic into the bridge and away from, because what they want is all the through traffic of Cincinnati to be going on this bridge, and then all the local traffic, if you're getting off downtown or if you're getting off in Covington or Fort Wright or something like that, or up, I think it goes up past the museum center, off of Fields Erdel, not Fields Erdel. Is it Fields Erdel? The exit right by the museum center there. So there's going to be a lot of work on that construction on those roads for sure going forward. But I think overall looks pretty good. I'm not super unhappy about it. Now, I know they've got to take right behind this building is Longworth Hall. I used to work in Longworth Hall for a while. They've got to cut out like 100 feet of that building. I think they're doing that pretty soon. Ezra Charles, thank you. I don't know why I said Fields Erdel. I was thinking of, I appreciate you looking out for me, Alex. Yeah, the northbound lanes will be above, so you'll be able to see the skyline going in. Yeah, I think that's cool. Like, everyone knows in Cincinnati, it's pretty sweet. Like, when you're coming across, from the cut in the hill on the Kentucky side, you come around that corner and you're like, bam, yeah, there's the skyline. I love that. And I think this just kind of extends that idea, which is great because currently when you're heading northbound into Cincinnati on the Brent Spence, you are underneath. And so you're not getting that view of the skyline. And so now you'll be on top. Theoretically, you'll probably be a little bit, it looks like from this image, you'll be a little bit above the current top deck of the Brent Spence. So you'll be able to see that skyline view. And even as you're passing over the river into Ohio, you can check out what's happening in the Cincinnati skyline. You were thinking of PKI or Kings Island now. Yeah, it probably was. So in that skyline view, I think that's going to kind of bring us to our next story here that we're talking about. You're going to continue to see Paycor Stadium. So how about this? I'll be honest. I did not think this was going to happen, but here's the headline. Bengals and Hamilton County negotiators agree to new Paycor Stadium lease terms. Now, I'm a little bit late on this in terms of the headline, but man, let's talk about the Bengals and the future of Paycor Stadium. The team and Hamilton County just agreed to a new 11-year lease with a $470 million renovation plan. Now, that's down from, I think it was $1.2 billion. So they're trimming back in terms of all the bells and whistles of that renovation plan down to $470 million. The county will contribute $350 million. The Bengals, $120 million. And for once, the cost overruns aren't the taxpayers' problem. So Hamilton County residents can hopefully rejoice about that part of the deal. This new deal is better than the last one. I wouldn't say it's great for Hamilton County. It's not like you won everything, but it is better than the last one. Public cost share is down from about 93% total to about 70%. I think that's talking about operations. And the infamous hologram clause, which that forced upgrades if other NFL teams got them, that is gone. That is out of the deal. But here's the catch. The team only has to stay until 2036, while the county pays off the debt through 2040. So it's not a forever deal. But for the next 10, 11 years, effectively it's 11 years. It could be 13 years with revenue shares that or revenue that brings in by the Bengals. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you happy about this? Are you unhappy about it? Are you glad the new stadium's going to stay, or the stadium's going to stay downtown? I'd love to hear your take. Was this a smart move to keep the Bengals downtown, or is the county still on the hook too much Love to hear your thoughts into the chat. Leave a message for that. What do you guys think? I for one, I am very surprised by this, that they got this done. I thought this was not going to happen at all. The way they were talking, the uncertainties about the money that was coming from the state, which is still unknown, by the way. It looks like some money's going to go to a Cleveland stadium. And I think you should be able to make a case to the state of Ohio of like, hey, look, if you're going to give money to Cleveland, you need to give it to us as well. But you never know. That money's not accounted for. And so a lot of it seems still up in the air. It seems like, going through this, Denise Driehaus was really the one, and really the attorney the county brought in, who had been working on other deals before. Let's see if I can bring up his name again. He's the one that really helped got it done because he had experience dealing with other stadium deals. So where is that? So it's important, once again, the county will borrow money to make the stadium's improvements. The county's not set to pay off the bonds that originally built Paycor Stadium and Great American until 2032. The agreement also does not split the costs evenly 3 ways between the county, the team, and the state, which is something that I know Commissioner Reese was trying to get. Governor DeWine, in a budget sent to him Wednesday, the legislator earmarked $600 million for a new Cleveland Browns stadium in the suburbs, but did not provide funds specifically for the Bengals. Lawmakers did set aside $400 million potentially for other stadium projects using an unclaimed property funds, of which the Bengals could be one. But the amount of state money that could go to the Bengals is capped at $250 million, less than the $350 million the county asked for. That means for a project originally conceived at $830 million, the most that likely will be done is $720 million. So a lot of details still up in the air on this for sure. I think another big win on this is that David Abrams, that's the guy, the new lease shifts risk away from the county. David Abrams, the county's lead negotiator with Inner Circle Sports, said, "We're investing what I consider a modest amount." He said it's a very fair lease from our standpoint. The existing lease is a very one-sided transaction. Yeah, everyone knows that the existing lease is very one-sided transaction. People in the Major League Sports industry say this is the one we don't want to replicate. Yeah, everyone looked at the Bengals original lease and said, like, that is the worst deal in professional sports. Like, there's no one who got hosed more than the Hamilton County residents. I mean, it's a huge reason why people have been so upset with the Brown family for all these years is they're great negotiators and they got a great lease the first time around. The Hamilton County residents have been paying for it. All this narrative around the Bengals family or the Brown family, I should say, the Bengals ownership is that they're cheap, and so much of it has to do with this lease. And so the fact that they got this done, I don't think, my kind of take on this is the Bengals won't get a lot of credit for this. And I get it. Look, I understand why so many residents are so angry at them with your tax dollars going to them for so many years. But I will say, like, I just didn't see this coming. I did not think that they would get this done. My prediction a few weeks ago was that they had these 2-year extensions that they could do to kind of kick this down the road. They hadn't been in the playoffs over 2 years. Like, you remember after the 2021 season when we went to the Super Bowl in early 2022, everyone, like, the Bengals could do no wrong. Everyone in the city was like, we went to the Super Bowl. This is amazing. We love you, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Zach Taylor. You can do no wrong. And, that's kind of soured the last 2 years when we haven't, maybe not soured, but like a lot of that enthusiasm went away the last 2 years when we haven't made the playoffs. I thought personally the Bengals would not get this done now. They would wait until the Bengals made another playoff run, if not a Super Bowl run, if not a Super Bowl win. And then it's like, all right, now let's talk about the stadium deal. I was wrong with my take. And I'm very surprised that they got it done. And it seems like the Commissioner Driehaus said the same thing. She was like, I did not think we would get this done. I think was pretty much her exact quote. So the Bengals have long rejected the view that the current lease is unfair to taxpayers, a position that Commissioner Dumas said was a hurdle that had to be cleared. We had to open their eyes because they initially came and said the lease is fine. See, that's the thing. Like, the Bengals, they were like, no, we're good. Like, this is a fair lease. This is good for everyone. We're pretty happy with it. And I don't think they actually believe that. I think they knew they were getting a good deal, but the Bengals are just good negotiators. They always negotiate from a position of leverage. i.e., take a look at, Trey Hendrickson right now. He's not in a very coveted position. But the Bengals, I thought they would hold their ground. I thought they would like wait until they were in a better place. This is a big point of it, Alex. Hoping that you can have more non-football events at Paycor. I think it says that in the article here as well. There's two other features of the new lease. The county will get to hire a third party to market the stadium for use on the days the team is not using it. The county long has wanted to bring more events and concerts to the stadium, the revenue of which is currently split between the two parties. Will bring in concerts, Driehaus said, will bring in games. That is a big part of this new lease deal, is the fact that the county can market this more. I mean, a couple of years ago now, Taylor Swift came in, sold out. That was huge. And that was a lot of fun. Like in the city, there was a lot of buzz around that. The stadium was sold out for that, for sure. If you can bring in bigger names like that, bigger stars, why not? Like the county, the taxpayers have paid for it. Now they get to use the stadium for more events like that. I think that's great. The second, so as to the future revenue split, that has not been negotiated yet, so they're working on that. The team's veto power over buildings, so this the second piece, around the stadium also may be weakened. Currently, the undeveloped lots west of Ray Street are limited to 40 feet unless the Bengals allow them to be taller. Those are gone in the new agreement, so that's pretty cool too. You're going back to the Brent Spence Companion Bridge. Now you got the Paycor is going to stay there. Now you got some development that might get loosened up a little bit down there. I'm hoping along with the bridge, you've got the, the Bridge Forward group that's trying to get that other 10 acres downtown. And if the Bengals don't have veto power over everything that can go up down there, maybe you'll continue to see some development momentum happen down at the banks, which I think will be great. I mean, the banks is already really cool. Can we make it even better as a city? I think so. So I think that's pretty cool. Reese abstained from her vote, saying she wants to see all the fine print. She's been kind of pushing hard. I feel like Driehaus and Reese were kind of like good cop, bad cop in this. And Reese is like, I want to see the deal. I want to know the numbers. We want the NFL to pay everything. We want the state to pay everything. And Denise Driehaus was kind of like, can we get a better deal now? And just because it's, where we didn't get to in this, and where I thought we would also get to, was the idea of like the Bengals saying, shopping around outside of Hamilton County, of like, hey, we'll go to Warren County, or we'll go to, we'll go to Boone County in Kentucky, or wherever, we'll look around. Or, then the threat gets even more serious, which is like, we'll go to another city. And I heard a rumor that Toronto had a fairly big deal on the table, and that might just be a rumor of buying the team. And like, we didn't get to that point of the negotiation, and kudos to the Bengals and the county for getting it done before then, because we all saw what that was like in Cleveland when they went to Baltimore. That was nasty, right? And that kind of happened the last time around in the first lease of like, hey, we could sell the team, we could move it away from the city. So not only did we not get to that point of the negotiation, but we also didn't get to the point where they were kind of leveraging of like, hey, we can move this away from the banks. And I don't think the Bengals wanted that. I don't think the county wanted that, because, let's be honest, when Cincinnati's really cool with the banks. Like the fact that we have both ballparks down there, our geography is really limited in what you can squeeze in the downtown area with the river, with the hills. Like it's just kind of scrunched in. There's this really cool video out there on YouTube. You should check it out, called like Cincinnati, the city that goes nowhere. And it was partially about like being in the Midwest and like not having futuristic videos or ideas, but it was more about like the idea that no, like you're actually landlocked. You've got these 7 hills and you've got the river, and it's like, bam, there's only so much you can do with the development. But what they have done is build those stadiums down on the riverfront. And everyone who lives here knows that going to a game at the ballpark, or going to Paycor and Smale Riverfront Ballpark, and the different restaurants and the different bars that have popped up down there, the different businesses, it's cool. Like it's really nice to have that. And not a lot of cities, nationally have that. And that's something unique we have there, where a lot of other stadiums, they're building these mega stadiums, and maybe they are, they're more expensive. Maybe there's more room, but they're also like 45 to an hour to like an hour and a half away from downtown. And so like they're out in the burbs and there's really nothing else around it. I think what's cool about our, both the Bengals, the Reds, and I should say FC Cincinnati on the west side, is like, bam, they're right downtown, kind of in the central corridor. So I think that's a cool thing. We get to keep that rolling here. with Paycor staying in Hamilton County. So Alex is saying, I'm hoping that we have more non-football. Oh, I already hit you on that. So yeah, for sure. I think there's going to be more events down there. The Bengals thank the county for backing the agreement. We are proud to call Paycor Stadium our home and to keep our future here in Cincinnati where it belongs, said Katie Blackburn, the Bengals executive vice president. So good job. Way to go, guys. I'm surprised that they got that one done. And where's that other one? There was one thing about revenue here. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, because I want to see the headline on that. Okay, so the county confident that the Bengals revenues will trigger longer lease, but data doesn't back that belief. So I know Driehaus said that she thought it could be 13 years. So a key provision in the new lease proposal between Hamilton County and the Bengals calls for the 11-year deal to be extended based on team revenue, but it sets a standard the team has not come close to meeting in recent years. So basically, I think what this says is it could go based on revenue that's hit. It could go 13 years. And what I would say on this is like, this gets us through the Joe Burrow era. More than likely he'll be retired at the end of 11 years, potentially 13 years. And so at that point, maybe you're talking about Paycor instead of doing renovations, maybe you're blowing it up and building something new. Who knows? But I think, you're doing this again in 11 years, potentially 13 years. But now we're set on this for the next 10, 11 years. We're set through the Burrow era. Now we're just going to watch a lot of touchdowns down at Paycor. So I like that. What up, Cullen? Boone County Bengals has a nice ring to it. I mean, I was here for it like all along. It would have been right over there, probably right over in your neck of the woods, right? Put it right down in Rabbit Hash, lots of room down there, or put it down, probably over by the Creation Museum. People could fly into the airport, just shoot off 275 straight to the stadium. Easy, done. Done deal. Boone County Bengals. It would have been fun. Maybe in 11 years when this lease is up, we'll get that argument. And maybe old Gary Moore in Boone County is marking off the land right now for the Bengals to come over to Kentucky. We'll see. We got the airport. We'll see what else happens. But then we wouldn't get those beautiful views of the skyline, right? Coming down the new Brent Spence Companion Bridge. What do you think they're going to name that anyway? You guys have any ideas for the Brent Spence Companion Bridge? Leave a comment below. The Joe Burrow Bridge, the Pete Rose Bridge. I don't know. Haven't thought about that. All right. What else do we got going on here? Let's see. More news downtown. So the convention hotel. Let's talk about this. So there is a Cincinnati convention hotel update. So the big update on the news downtown, on the new downtown convention hotel. Spoiler alert, it is delayed. The massive $536 million headquarters hotel planned near the Duke Energy Convention Center won't open until 2028. So a full 2 years after the convention center itself reopens in 2026. To cover the gap, developers are buying and renovating another existing hotel downtown. City Council is being asked to approve a $50 million loan at a discounted interest rate to keep the deal alive. And if it's not paid back in 30 years, the city forgives it. I don't like the sound of that. I'm not going to lie. This hotel will have 700 rooms, the city's largest ballroom, outdoor terraces, and prime event space, making Cincinnati more competitive for large conventions. So question for you guys out there, is this the boost our downtown needs, or are we stretching our budget a little too thin? Sound off in the comments. Would love to know what you think on that. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Here's kind of the look at it. You got those terraces. I thought when I saw the design on this one, I was kind of like, okay. Oh, Cullen's got a name for the Brent Spence companion bridge, the Stanio Bridge. I don't, that has a nice ring to it. Maybe the CAC Bridge, the CACs. That goes back. Cullen and I are old high school buddies, so we've got a lot of long time stories and jokes between us. But Stanio Bridge, the team Stanio Bridge. I like that. Maybe I'd have to change. Maybe I'd have to change the old logo. The logo. We'd have to change it from the road lane and move it over to the new cable bridge. But I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind the team Stanio Bridge. I like that. All right, inside joke, or at least 20 of us out there know about it. The cat connector. It's not that inside. Basically, in high school, we wore khaki pants like all the time, and people made fun of us and called us the Cacks. So there you go. Now you guys know the joke. So there's the hotel. Gonna open in 2028. It's all right. I think like this is obviously important with a convention to have this space. I think it's a big help. I don't love loans going out that are lower interest, but I do like seeing more development downtown. To me personally, I think the big, this convention center matters. I still want the arena. I think the indoor arena. I mean, the county can bring in more events at Paycor now, so that's good. Maybe that offsets things a little bit. I still want to be able to host things like the Final Four, like, I don't know, political conventions, like any big events yearly that, but that goes back to kind of this idea of where do you put it? Like that's the latest article on the arena is like, there's not a lot of room. Where do you put this thing? And there's a few ideas proposed. I still think that's probably going to make its way to the west side, or west end, I should say, of downtown, kind of over by FC Cincinnati, and that area is my guess. But that's what's going on with this convention stand here. Yeah, Cullen says 100% on the arena. Like, let's get that done. Like that, we know what winters are like here. We're not going to be seeing a lot of Taylor Swift in February at Paycor. So let's get the arena. That's the next big thing I want to see here. Alex says it seems like it's already scaling down from the initial pictures, but I would say we need to get it built. It's going to cost more later. Everything's going to cost more later. I mean, I agree. Like we need this thing. We can get more conventions. We can get more revenue coming into the business or into the city by having this built. I don't like that it's being delayed, but that's where we're at right now. What's going on, my man?
Dad.
Yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Can you go ask Corin real quick? You want to say hi real quick?
Hi.
Say, I'm gonna brag about you for a little bit, because I say, how old are you?
5.
And what mountain did you just climb?
Mount LeConte.
Yeah. And what?
The highest mountain in Gatlinburg.
The highest mountain, almost in Gatlinburg, but the highest one that you can kind of climb. And what were your goals on that day? Here, look right there. Tell the people.
To climb up LeConte and do a river dance, be good all day, and don't get hurt and bleed.
Don't get hurt and bleed, and don't be carried too, right?
Don't get a piggyback.
All right, so I'm going to brag on you. I'm going to show, I just put this up, though I couldn't get it on. But my son, I was so proud of him. Let's see here. How can I, hang on a second. How do I do this how do you use the internet? Do you know?
No, okay. I never use the internet.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You want to show him your river dance?
Mm-hmm.
All right, where was it? Well, here's one of them. Yeah. That was after hiking about 6 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And about 3,000 feet of elevation. So, here's your other one. This was at Cliff Tops. Yeah, and you. Yep, and you were doing your river dance. You did not need to be carried once the entire trip.
But my ankles did hurt on that trip.
Yeah, it was a hard hike.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that is a leash on you because we didn't want you to fall off the mountain,
mm-hmm.
right? But you crushed it, and you were good all day. Like you didn't complain. You were positive. You led the charge. No whining. I was thoroughly impressed by you. You did so good. So proud of you. I was so proud. You need to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I saw myself.
Yeah. I saw you too. Go ask Corin and he'll help you. Okay. So I was going to brag on him later, but man, guys, unbelievable. Yeah. great job. And yeah, he'll probably be in show choir. Not gonna lie. My oldest Cullen, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like rocking the musical theater at Highlands. He was SpongeBob in the SpongeBob the musical. Yeah, with the arena, yeah, we could recruit some other sports, right? Do we want the WNBA? I mean, maybe. But the NBA, NHL to Cincy, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Okay. So where were we? All right, let's hit a few more headlines, and then I'm going to rock out of here with the kids. Did the Reds win, guys? They were tied 1-1 when I came in. All right, so I want to hit this up real quick. Have you guys been following this story in Hyde Park Square? So a little bit of news. I think this is quite interesting, but let's talk about the Hyde Park Square for a minute, where this $150 million mixed-use development is facing a new legal roadblock because a local property owner just won a temporary injunction claiming the project would block access to 6 parking spaces behind his building on Erie Avenue. He says he's used that access for years and is what's called a prescriptive easement, basically a legal right to keep using it, even if he doesn't own it. The judge agreed for now, and that could slow things down for the developers who are already dealing with a possible public vote in November to challenge the height and the traffic impact of the project. So, question to you guys: are you watching this? Should we prioritize new development in Hyde Park, or are the neighbors right to push back? Leave a comment below. I'll be honest. When I first saw the pushback on this, oh, sweet. So the Reds won. Awesome. Fantastic. Won the series. So I was kind of like, come on. Because in Fort Thomas, we had something similar where a lot of people pushed back on the development, and the development came. And I'm like, this is kind of awesome. Like, I really like this space. And I think something similar, I was kind of thinking some of that in Hyde Park. But then I'll be honest, I dug a little bit deeper in, and I highly recommend checking out this podcast where Molly Henning, who is she's one of the founding members of Save Hyde Park Square, gave this interview. And she's a former city developer, I believe, or she's in zoning or city planning and development. I can't remember exactly which. But go check out that interview. I'm not going to do it all for you right now, because she knew what she was talking about. And when you kind of listen to it and you're like, so wait a second, they had all these signatures. They went through the hoops. All these people are saying we don't want this. And yet council, why do we have zoning and planning meetings if city council is not going to listen to what the city residents are saying? And so I kind of see both arguments on this. I see, I think the arguments for the developers are kind of like, hey, you don't want to signal to other developers who want to develop in Cincinnati that you're going to get pushback all the time. And so just let it go. Like, let these developments happen so we can kind of progress in the city and do new things. And then on, the resident side, it's kind of like, no, like, you're getting these special junctions, and, you shouldn't be able to just do whatever you want with the development. And like, we've got zoning regulations for a reason. If you go listen to that interview, you'll find that out, which is like, no, why would we even have these height regulations in our zoning if you're not going to follow them? If you're going to allow this single, what's it called? Planned use development, maybe. I can't remember. I'm not a zoning expert. Forgive me on that. I want to learn more about this, but like the idea where you can basically do a one-off, whatever you want, if you get the approval for that specific space of development. And so, the people in Hyde Park are pissed. And they know what they're talking about. They have some money, they have some power behind them. And they're like, we're going to remember this in November. So I'm just following this, going to continue to see where it goes, what happens here. I think what will eventually happen is that hotel might get knocked down or gone altogether. And you'll see, because they weren't saying we don't want any development. If you listen to Molly in this, they were like, we're okay with development, but like, we don't want the entire thing changed. And we want you to follow the rules that we already have in place in terms of height restrictions. And so then you got the second article here where the developers hired an architect team for the $150 million Hyde Park project. MSA Design tapped to lead the project's architectural design. And as we're talking about here, the project faces potential citywide vote on a zoning change approval. So keep an eye on that. I think this is an interesting case, both for Hyde Park.
I know what DAD spells. It spells dad. DAD spells dad.
Nailed it. And you can even write that, can't you? Thank you, Holt. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll see what happens. And I just find that really interesting. Curious what you guys think. Do you think this is going to go through? You think it's going to change? Colin says that tax money talks. Yeah, and I also think like the way they organize this so quickly.
Iron Man.
Hey, can you go play the other one?
And this is 4.
Can you go play the other one? Go.
And this is Black Widow.
He wanted to show you his Iron Man toys.
Those are my dad's.
My toys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Holt. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. I think it's interesting, but they got a lot of signatures really quickly on this. If they can do that for zoning and planning, then, you can stir something up when it comes election time too. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Okay. What else do we got here?
I want to play the computer.
Go ask Corin. He'll turn it on for you.
But how do you do, what's the computer password?
Go ask Corin. He knows. All right. One other thing here. I wanted to hit this, some new construction before we back out tonight. I've got 4 of my kids with me tonight, in case you didn't notice. But I don't mind that I'm interrupting if you guys don't mind. One of my oldest is actually at summer camp. So I met my wife at a summer camp, a Young Life summer camp in Northern Kentucky. And my son, who's heading into his sophomore year, is heading to it's not Young Life anymore. It's Northern Kentucky Navigators, but he's at camp right now in Michigan. So that's pretty exciting. But the other 4 are here with me. So who knows? You might get another interruption here. But are they really interruptions, or are they just super cute? Little of both. So, okay. Fischer Homes unveils new model in Warren County's Renaissance. I bring this up just because I got some other clients looking at new construction, specifically in Warren County, up in Renaissance. We were up in Shaker Run, had some clients come in from Arizona who are kind of scouting out the area out there as well. But they've got this new model home. I haven't been able to check it out. I think I'm going up there this week actually to record it. So a set of newly built homes in Warren County are nearly move-in ready. Northern Kentucky-based Fischer Homes hosted a grand opening June 14th for the Finley model home located in the Renaissance community in Middletown. The Finley is part of Fischer's Masterpiece Collection and offers 2,500 square feet across 2 stories. It also boasts 9-foot ceilings on the main level. Blah, blah, blah. Renaissance is the ideal community for home buyers seeking a blend of comfort, style, and modern living in a vibrant area. Fischer Homes has been building at Renaissance since 2011. The community will feature 450 total home sites developed by Grand Communities Limited and affiliate partner of Fischer Homes. So far, 383 homes have been built, and a limited number of home sites remain. The Renaissance offers resort-style amenities, including a clubhouse, cabana, 2 swimming pools, walking trails, playground, basketball courts, open green spaces. Homes in the community are priced from $420,000 to $770,000. The Renaissance is located southeast of Renaissance Point, a $200 million mixed-use project that includes office, retail, and restaurant spaces, as well as hotels, residential units, and a plaza. We also own a property adjacent to the south of the planned Middletown Event Center, where we hope to build multifamily for rent and for sale. Greg Fischer of the Fischer Group previously told the Courier. And part of why I build that up, yeah, it's a new model home. But the other thing I want to bring up here is this idea of Cincinnati and Dayton kind of like squeezing together. And if you look at where Renaissance is, I'll pull that up real quick. it's kind of in the middle. Fischer homes between Dayton and Cincinnati here. So let me zoom out. It's actually maybe even a little closer to Dayton up in Middletown. So depending on what part of Cincinnati you're talking about. So this is the other thing to me that to kind of keep an eye on. Whoops. Can I bring that back? Is this connection between Dayton and Cincinnati. I think you'll continue to see more of it. And, where you still see some green means there's some undeveloped land. And I think in terms of building new, you'll see more of that in the future here. But that's also the final kind of photo I want to hit on, or article I want to hit on tonight is this, these experts discussing talent and development in the middle. So this was written by Tom Demaropoulos. He said, as I was getting ready for this year's Southwest Ohio Growth Summit, the event we added to our growth in the middle publication, I was reminded that Cincinnati and Dayton are still two very different cities. Okay. I'll help you in a little bit. I need you to go out, though. While leaders have discussed the possibility of Southwest Ohio becoming one big metroplex, it's unlikely to happen in the near future. The designation is based on commuting patterns and population density. Even with ongoing growth and development along the Interstate 75 corridor, we're not one big happy metro yet. But that should not stop the two regions from partnering on a regular basis. It can be easy to forget not everyone knows where the two cities are on a map. Well, it's a good thing. You guys are logged in here so you can see where they are on the map. That's just one of the challenges our economic development officials face. That was just part of the conversation during two panel discussions. The Business Courier and the Dayton Business Journal collaborated on the Southwest Ohio's Growth Summit. The event held Thursday, June 26th at the Spooky Nook Champion Mill Conference Center offered insight from top leaders in higher education, economic development, government, and real estate development. So just scrolling through here. But I guess it doesn't go on too much more, but there's some images from there, but I'm going to keep an eye on that because I think that is interesting in terms of the region's growth is what happens. And we've been talking about this a little bit on the channel, but the idea of these logistics jobs that are happening, I guess there's one other article I wanted to hit, which was the new president of the CVG, but these logistics jobs, these advanced manufacturing jobs, these aerospace jobs that are happening kind of connect Cincinnati, Dayton in that space. So one last final article I want to hit here was the new CEO of CVG. Now, Candace McGraw has been the CEO for years, but now Larry Crowder, maybe I'm saying that name right, sees the airport as an engine for workforce growth. And I just thought this headline and what he said specifically, like some of these questions to him were around passenger growth in the airport. And I wouldn't say he dodged them in terms of low-cost carriers or adding international routes or job attractiveness. But when the question was asked about the biggest opportunity you see for CVG, he said, hey, we have an opportunity, the facility and the Elevate CVG project, to look at the way it was initially configured as a connecting hub and make some changes for how it works now, which is an origin and destination airport. And then to bring more people into the workforce, not only at CVG, but the tenants at the airport. So what does that mean, the tenants at the airport and maybe some of those surrounding businesses when you're looking at Amazon, when you're looking at DHL? And so I just think, like, when you're thinking about Cincinnati and the growth of it, I think where the growth is kind of happening around CVG is not necessarily like we're going to be this giant passenger hub again, like in the 90s and 2000s when Delta was here. No, instead, like where it seems to be the growth is happening is with it being a logistics hub with Amazon, with DHL, with GE Aerospace and these massive new deals that just happened with GE Aerospace with Qatar and other countries in the Middle East. That's going to grow jobs here. And when you think about, to me, when I think of what that means regionally and connecting kind of Cincinnati and Dayton, that to me seems to be where the jobs are heading. That to me seems to be where, the growth is heading and all the other spillover kind of businesses that come from the growth of those big business deals. So curious what you guys think about that. Let me know. But I'm starting to see, a lot of you guys who watch the channel, you're not from around here. You're moving here because of some of those businesses, because of some of those jobs and that opportunity that is here in the Cincinnati area. So I'm seeing that a little bit more. I'm starting to hear my kids fight. So I might have to pack this up here. But yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up with a little bit of dad life. Again, if you guys are watching, do you have some big summer plans going on? I was so impressed with these guys, but here's a cool video. There's a few parts on the trail where it's like, okay, hold on to this cable, but I highly recommend Gatlinburg. I highly recommend these hikes. So beautiful down there. We had great weather all week. This is the Alum Cave Bluff. And you can stop here. The last few years, we stopped here and turned around. We made it about a 4.6-mile hike. But this year, we made it to the top. We got to the trail about 6:45 a.m., something like that. I think we started hiking around 7:15 a.m. We made it up here to LeConte Lodge. We hiked in our snacks. We didn't even need the snacks at the lodge, but we had apples, jerky, trail mix, all the good stuff. We were tired. It was hard. This was at Lookout Point, which is just before the Alum Cave Bluff. So this is about 2 miles into the hike, this spot. And then this is at Cliff Tops, which is it's not the highest point, but it's right near the summit. Once you get to LeConte Lodge, it's about 0.3 up to this spot. That's why our total hike was about 12 miles. But awesome views up here. You've got, the Smoky Mountains rolling in. My son's saying he wants to jump off, which is why he had a leash. I'm not ashamed to say that he had a leash. But this is kind of the, let's see, what direction is this? I guess the west side of LeConte. And if you look right around this corner, you could kind of see like the bottom of Gatlinburg right down there. But we did this like as a family. I'm so proud. I did not think we were going to make it. Not going to lie. But we did. It's a long day. We hiked over 10 hours, start to finish. We hit the trail at 7:15. We were back in the van around 10:15. Cold, fresh water coming straight from the mountain. It was awesome. This is for my nephew, David, who loves squirrels. So, David, if you're out there watching, this was for you. Yeah, some serious elevation. Some tired and sore knees. This was up at the lodge. So, good day. Good day. That was hard. It was difficult, but it was awesome to get it done with the family. Was super proud of them. So there we were up at the top. There's Team Stanio. All right. So I'm out of here, guys. Appreciate you watching again. If you don't mind, click the thumbs up before you leave, just so more people can watch this video. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Didn't talk too much real estate. We'll do that next time. Just talking about the Cincy changes today. Hope you're having an awesome summer. I want to go hit the pool up before we get into the week with the kids. Get outside, enjoy the summer. Hopefully you get to do an awesome trip like we got to do down in Gatlinburg. It's an easy trip from Cincinnati. It's about 5 hours if you don't stop. For us, it takes about 6, maybe a little over 6, with a few stops. But we had a good time. Hope you guys are having a fun summer as well. So we're gonna check out for now, and we thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Hope you get one as well. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a great week.